Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, nice conditions in the west today, a little snow and rain in the northern plains, but the spotlight again today is in the east where flooding rains and severe weather may threaten the region, already threatening the region again. Welcome to Weather Center. I'm Mike Motley.
That's indeed true. The rain continuing to come down. Flash flood watches and warnings remain in effect for portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. I'm Bob Stokes. And by the way, severe weather is possible from northern Florida all the way to the state of Virginia. We don't want to rule that out either. Now, don't put away those umbrellas and raincoats just yet if you're in Philadelphia. The area got some rain this morning and more is headed your way this afternoon. You want to be careful as you're out and about today because the rain could be heavy at times. Expect temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. It's a messy one there, and if you're heading in from Atlantic City, for example, take care because the rain's going to keep coming down for much of this day going into this evening. Now, the good news is the forecast holds a drying period tomorrow. But we've got to get this low out of the way first. It's moving rapidly toward the northeast. The rain has been training. We've seen some 4 to 5 inch rain amounts over eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee. There's the moisture. You can see that moisture feed, we call it, traveling toward the northeast at a pretty rapid clip. So much of the eastern quarter of the country, just a sloppy Sunday today. So traveling not encouraged, especially in eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee, where not only a flood watch is in effect, but in this area we have numerous counties under flash flood warnings. And in western North Carolina, where the most recent flash flood warning has been issued for Ashe County. So especially in the Smokies, in the Appalachians, and the higher elevations, this is where the flash flood watches are in effect. And again, contained therein are numerous flash flood warnings, which means flash flooding is imminent. So if you live by a waterway, say a creek, a small river, or even a big river, you need to stay off those roadways if you can help it that are adjacent to those waterways, because you could have overrunning of the banks, and some of these dips in the road could contain water or heavier than it appears to be. And of course, we encourage you not to travel through those dips that are covered by water. But this is the area, including Knox County and the greater Knoxville, Tennessee area, you are under a flash flood warning. I-81, I-64, I-79 are 3 interstates to be careful on and perhaps avoid as this rain continues to flow toward the northeast. Again, the Poconos getting into the higher elevations of central Pennsylvania, and now in the greater New York City and Philadelphia area. It's still quite unsettled, still a messy one for any outdoor activities you had planned today, say a picnic in Central Park. It may not be the best day for that. You can see it, and speaking of Central Park, getting into Manhattan and the airports you may be going to, LaGuardia or JFK. It's going to be a messy one as you light from your plane and try to catch a taxi. It's going to be probably a slow ride if you're going, say, to Long Island from the airport along the LIE, because it's going to be a messy one. There's a look at the rain. You can see in the darker green, it's where the heaviest rains are. We could see 2 to 3, 4-inch amounts in some areas of the higher elevations of Pennsylvania. And we could also see perhaps an inch or two in the panhandle of Florida. You can see it's coming down heavily. This is the lifting mechanism. We've got a counterclockwise flow, and ahead of the front, the southerly winds bringing up that moisture, and this is the area where the air is the most unstable, in the Carolinas. That means that's where the air will have a tendency to rise faster than other places. So we could actually see storms in this area, although the chance of storms extends all the way down into Florida. In fact, we have some convection right here. So please, again, not only the rains, but the storms you got to be careful of. A lot of it, if you have marine interests in this area here, you need to be careful east of Apalachicola as this rain continues to move toward the north. Again, the Tri-Cities as well as Knoxville under a flash flood warning. Warm in the southeast, 81 in Orlando, but how about the west? There's the temperatures. How about the rest of the story? Here's Mike.
Well, it's a quiet day across the west, and while in the Midwest, rain showers are affecting some of you this afternoon. Let's look at what's happening into the Midwest and show you that things are rather quiet, except for a low pressure cell that is over portions of South Dakota. This system with the cold front could bring you a thunderstorm or two possible into South Dakota, maybe even Nebraska or Kansas this afternoon. But for the most part, the Midwest is rather quiet with a mix of sun and clouds and some chilly temperatures, especially into the west. Checking out the visible satellite, we're seeing those clearer skies over much of northern Illinois, around Chicagoland, going back towards Peoria and Springfield. But into Iowa, some cloudiness there. And there's a spin from our low pressure cell over South Dakota. Light showers from the system, but you might see a thunderstorm later on this afternoon. It's possible throughout the evening hours and overnight. And into the eastern Midwest, much more cloud cover from the system that's bringing the showers and the rainfall into portions of the southeast. And we're seeing those nice cool temperatures in the East Coast today, 60 degrees over in Boston. Over into the west, it's pretty uneventful there. We're seeing some cloud cover over the region and some chilly temperatures and some scattered precip, but not a whole lot. High pressure over portions of northern New Mexico, possibility of fog into southwestern Oregon and portions of western Washington along Interstate 5. Scattered rain around northern Idaho and the Chimney. Also some rain and snow into Oregon and some more light snow into Montana. Checking out the Pacific Northwest radar, we're seeing that light precip along Interstate 84 near the border of Oregon and also Idaho, and along Interstate 84 down in the southern Idaho. Some more precip along I-90 into the northern section of portions of Montana. And looking at the current temperatures into the west, they look like this. We're into the 60s in Las Vegas, at the 40s and around Boise, 48 degrees. And the forecast for this afternoon, the west is pretty quiet. Some showers or maybe a thunderstorm possible into portions of the Midwest, Iowa.